Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to call to order the Monday, April 1st, 2024 meeting of the Lake Zurich Village Board. Deputy Clerk Kyle Cordell will be handling Clerk Johnson's duties tonight. So Kyle, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Poynton.
Here.
Trustee Bobrowski.
Here.
Trustee Euchre.
Here.
Trustee Chagru.
Here.
Trustee Wider.
Present.
Trustee Riley and Spicone are both unable to join us tonight due to work conflicts.
Okay, thank you. And would you stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item on the agenda is public comment. This is an opportunity for residents to comment briefly on matters included on the agenda and otherwise of interest to the Board of Trustees. Public comment is limited to 30 minutes in total and up to 5 minutes per speaker. When you step to the podium, if you haven't already done so, please sign in and identify yourself with your name and address for the record. We will take public comments from the sign-up sheet. I saw a couple people come in. Yeah, okay. But we'll still offer public comments. So are there any public comments from anybody tonight? Yes, sir.
Hi, Eric Dubiel, 25 North Pleasant Road here in town. In a poor economic time with high inflation, this village is pushing a water boondoggle at huge costs to its taxpayers. This is ill-advised. It is going to further increase costs to residents. The Lake Zurich water monopoly needs to be mitigated by allowing residents to be free to dig their own on-site wells. I myself primarily grew up on well water, and that freedom should be extended to all families in this village. Why should there be a monopoly on water? Rock known as ringwoodite has been found under the surface about 400 miles deep, which if it contains just 1% water, it would be 3 times the water on the ocean's surface. Yet here we hear fear, uncertainty, and doubt from the village and its contractor about water availability in the future. Is the village going to put to referendum the decision to move to Lake Michigan water? Let us vote. Give the taxpayers the choice. Also, let us vote with our wallets and allow residents to dig their own wells instead of a monopoly water supply. Today we see the Justice Department going after a company called Apple over monopoly concerns. But here we have this village, which is a water monopoly. Give residents the choice. We also note on the agenda tonight more no-bid contracts by the village instead of acting in taxpayers' best interests. This is a recurring theme. We also see that the village is still sitting on property from the early 2000s, such as Block A, acquired under the threat of eminent domain, which is being subsidized on the taxpayers' backs for about 2 decades, when it should have been auctioned off and sold many years ago. Instead, we have a board continuing these Soviet-style central planning practices looking for a unicorn instead of using the free market forces. I'm asking this board, when is the auction to sell this property and any others which the village has no business holding on to? In summary, it is long past time for this board to end the fiscal irresponsibility exhibited. After all, you are public servants. Thank you.
Any other public comments tonight? Alrighty then, we will close public comments and move on to the president's report. And I'm going to move over to the podium for this, so bear with me while I walk over there. Alrighty. Okay, this is, I have three proclamations tonight to recognize and an update, and I'm going to handle the proclamations first. The first proclamation declares April 14th to the 20th as 2024 as National Telecommunicator Week. This proclamation is in recognition of all the telecommunicators and especially in appreciation of those serving the residents and businesses of the village of Lake Zurich. It encourages everyone to be aware of the dedication, professionalism, and life-saving efforts put in by our telecommunicators. The second proclamation recognizes Arbor Day in Lake Zurich on April 27th, 2024. This proclamation recognizes the importance of the role of trees in our community as they can increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. We urge all of our residents to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands and to support the village's important urban forestry program, as well as attending our Arbor Day events on April 27th. The next proclamation. It's not very often that we get a resident who garners national and international recognition, but we do have that tonight. So proclamation number 3 focuses attention on Lake Zurich resident Alan Titoff. Alan, you're here. Come on up here. This is Alan. Introduce Alan Titoff to the Board of Trustees. So I'd also like to introduce Andre Titoff, Alan's dad. The proclamation focuses its attention on Lake Zurich resident Alan Titoff on being a top-ranked judo champion. And Andre will explain a little bit about that. Okay?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Board of Trustees. Thank you very much for inviting us this evening. It's a great honor for Alan, for our family, to be here and to receive this mayoral proclamation. When I told my son about it this evening, he thought, honestly, I was playing a April Fool's prank on him. He asked me 3 times, Dad, are you sure? Are you sure? I said, yes, son, just trust me. It's not a prank. And when he arrived this evening, he was pretty nervous. So am I. But to give you a little background on my son, I am an extremely proud father of my son's achievements so far. He's about to turn 11 in May, and he started his career in judo at the age of 6.5, under guidance of his coach, who is a world champion, Gela Kilikashvili. The club is called European Judo Academy. We're located in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. And since Alan joined the club, he has been competing at a national and international level all around the country, going to various competitions to various different states. And throughout his short career, he managed to be ranked #1 nationally and internationally in 2021, in 2022, and in 2 divisions in 2023. So we're extremely proud of that. It is a tough sport, as you may know. So Alan's goal is to eventually represent USA at the Olympics level, and we're here to support his dream and his ambitions, and we're more than happy. And again, thank you very much for having us here tonight. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you for that, Andre. I'm going to read the proclamation that we have here without all the whereases. So this is a proclamation honoring Lake Zurich resident Alan Titoff on being a top-ranked judo champion. Whereas Alan Titoff began the pursuit of excellence in the art of judo martial arts as a noble and disciplined endeavor that fosters the development of physical prowess, mental acuity, and unwavering sportsmanship. And Alan was raised in Lake Zurich, Illinois, being a resident of our community since January 2017, and is currently wrapping up his last year at May Whitney Elementary School, moving onto Lake Zurich Middle School North in fall of 2024. And through countless hours of rigorous training, steadfast determination, and a commitment to the principles of judo, Alan is quickly ascending to the pinnacle of achievements, and Alan's passion for judo has led him to complete at state, local, national, and international competitions, including the U.S. Open and Junior Olympics Judo Championships. And Alan has joined the European Judo Academy under the guidance of World Judo Champion Sensei Gila. How'd you say that name?
Gela Kelikashvili.
What he said. Alan was recognized by the USA Judo Federation in 2021, 2022, 2023 for being ranked being the number one national judo champion in his age and weight divisions. And Alan is training 5 days a week to meet this goal of competing at the Olympics in Los Angeles in July 2028, representing the United States of America. Alan's exceptional contributions to the sport, an embodiment of the spirit of judo, shall stand as a symbol of excellence and an inspiration to current and future generations of judo practitioners. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Tom Poynton, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the people of Lake Zurich, do hereby recognize the outstanding achievements so far of Alan Titoff in becoming a top-ranked judo champion and for his future endeavors representing Team USA on the Olympic world stage, dated this first day of April 2024. No? Come on, just say.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm very grateful for this gift, and I hope for you to cheer me on in 2028. Oh.
Okay, well, we wish Alan good luck, and we hope to see you representing your sport, your country, and Lake Zurich in the 2028 Olympics. So, Alan, thank you. Thanks for coming. Next item on the President's report is an update on the Green Electricity Aggregation Program, and we have a presenter, Adam Hoover, here. So, Adam, you want to come up? Thank you.
I kind of wish I went first because this is not as impressive as what Alan's doing. I'm not going to make the Olympics. Those days are gone. My name's Adam Hoover. I'm with NIMEC. You may recognize the last name Hoover or the name NIMEC. My father has been here before and presented, and he's taken some more time off, and I'm working a little bit more, so we'll be kind of giving you the update today. Just a reminder, what NIMEC does is primarily we help with pretty much your water pumping accounts, all your power accounts, finding a better rate than you all probably could find on ComEd. So we do that with your streetlights and every other power account. We do that in a big group bid. You might see a resolution. Actually, Kyle will be talking about the streetlights expire in July, so you'll be seeing resolutions for that coming up, and you guys are familiar with that process, and we're thankful to continue that relationship. But one other thing we do with you all is municipal aggregation, and we're just here to give you a quick update. There's no action items, there's no requests from the board. We're just here to give you an update on kind of how it's going and kind of give you a brief overview of it. If you are unfamiliar with municipal aggregation, that is the ability to kind of bulk purchase for residents to find different rates than residents can go find on their own for their own power. If you are a resident that has solar, or you've chosen a different supplier, or you're on the ComEd hourly program, pretty much you've done something else besides ComEd, you are not included in the program. You're informed of the program, but you're not included in it. And you guys may have received letters probably about a year ago around this time informing you of this update. Also, just so you know, residents, if they don't want to partake in it, they can opt out and remain with ComEd at any point, or they can opt in and be part of the program at any point without any cancellation or joining fees. There's no penalties for going back or forth one or the other. However, we have a program here that has about 100% renewable energy, and that's kind of what I'm really here to focus on. You guys have chosen a fixed rate program that expires, I believe, in August, that has 100% renewable energy, and I just wanted to kind of explain why we think, one, that's the future of renewable energy, because it is not as costly when you're able to bulk purchase to kind of get that renewable energy that way, and there's no infrastructure that is needed to install. You're not installing solar panels everywhere or having to get the big wind farms or any of that nature. You guys are doing it in a way that is not as difficult to do. So right now, I think I have a stat. I don't know if I can pull it up here. Is it popping up? Okay. There's just a couple things. I just wanted to quickly go over this, that this is the equivalency. This is an estimated, but I'll give you an estimated of what the green energy if your program is doing. You guys are creating about the same energy as 10.8 wind turbines. You know, those big wind turbines, you plant them in the middle of Lake Zurich. That's how much renewable energy is being created in this program. Removing 8,600 gasoline-powered cars, or about 13,300 tons of waste recycled. I kind of was mentioning this with Kyle when we were talking about the renewal, and I'm here. I can't calculate it. I can't give you a number, but it's really, I study this a lot. I think you guys are one of the most renewable programs in the Midwest. And I can't give you a number on how much renewable energy cities in Wisconsin are doing or Minnesota, but we work with 150 communities, and there aren't much more that are creating more renewable energy with their programs than you all are. So I'm here just kind of give you an update on that. You guys have been EPA Green Community members. You have a highway sign, and that's what you kind of get for being an EPA Green Community member. It's something that doesn't come with a lot of recognition. I wish there were ways to change that, but I'm here to just kind of say, here are the results of the program, and in my opinion, it's been a pretty successful one. So if there's any questions or concerns, I'll address those, but I just kind of want to come here to share that information.
Anybody on the board have any questions for Adam?
Yeah, I have a question. So I remember that came out
Yeah.
last year or whatever. So I remember looking at it, and I think the rates were lower average than what we were paying from ComEd at the time.
Correct.
And so that seemed good to me. What do you expect in August when this renews? Is that situation change?
Yeah, that's the complication of what we've talked about with Kyle and the staff is the ComEd rate is just being more variable. They've really removed the cap on how much they can change from each month. So they used to have a fixed rate, and they say, hey, our fixed rate was last year 9.6 cents, and it's not moving. They've removed the cap in a way they're purchasing their energy, so there is more variable in their number. So we think it's going to be comparable, but I will say with these programs and how ComEd is doing it, it's going to be hard to sit there and say we can guarantee savings. That's kind of it, but it'll be a competitive rate, and I'm confident there'll be months where it'll save, but I can't say it'll save money every single month. And we don't know what the ComEd rate, by the way, is going to come out until about May.
And does your firm only solely aggregate renewable energy sources, or you could get other energy
Correct.
sources for us? And could those be guaranteed fixed rates too, or is the whole situation turning more variable?
We can provide fixed rates. That's what we do. ComEd does not really. ComEd would say they provide. ComEd's fixed rate is much more. It has a little bit more up and down than it used to. But we can provide fixed rates. That's what Kyle and I will be working on.
Okay, I guess the only thing I'm interested in is the premium, if we're paying a premium of what that is for what we're buying down the road. You know, that'd be something I would be interested in.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
Good to know. Thank you. Any other questions?
How about down here? No? I do.
Oh.
So you said that our participation in the program is the equivalent of 10 turbines?
Yep. I want to be clear. It's an estimated number, but it's pretty close to that. Yeah. We'll get exact numbers at the direct expiration of the program in August. But yes, similar to that.
So what percent, do you happen to know what percentage of your potential customers, ComEd, formerly on ComEd, are now with NIMEC?
Yeah, well, they're not with NIMEC. They're still, just to be clear,
with
they're
this
still
program.
Yeah, they're still
Yeah.
powered by. So just to be clear, they're still billed by ComEd, and
Right.
there's delivery, and you pay ComEd. So that's the beauty of the program. There's really no change.
Right.
except for the supply portion. It's going to be around 70%. I should have had the exact number, but about 70% of residents are with this program.
70% of Lake Zurich customers are in the NINEC program.
Aggregation program, yeah, that's an estimate,
that's
but it's
more
going to
than
be
I
around
thought.
there, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And residents have the ability to opt in and opt out if they choose.
Right. Okay.
I just want to say is over the long term, it's had an interesting phenomenon that when aggregation kind of came into vogue
Yes.
15, 16 years ago, ComEd's rates were fixed and at a much higher rate. And when aggregation kind of came into its own, some more participation from communities or NIMAC and other similar agencies really forced ComEd to come back down to the market. So to your point, Trustee Bobrowski, about on any given cycle, it might be right there, right at ComEd, or might be a cent higher or cent lower. But it's really, I think, the long-term effect has been keeping ComEd honest with the other suppliers.
That's 100%. I mean, the ComEd rate, when my father was here, you guys were getting rates of 4 and 5 cents, and the ComEd rate would be 7 or 8 cents. Those days have kind of gone a little bit. And we do think that has part of the reason. ComEd will never give us credit for that, but I appreciate someone does. But yes, yeah.
Okay.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Thanks
you.
for coming out, Adam. Appreciate it. Okay, that's it for the president's report. We move on to the consent agenda. The titles on the consent agenda will be read by the clerk and approved by a single roll call vote. Any item from the consent agenda may be pulled for discussion, separate vote by any member of the board. Kyle, please read the titles.
Approval of the minutes from the village board meeting of March 18th, 2024. Approval of executive session minutes from the board meeting of March 4th, 2024. Approval of semi-monthly warrant register dated April 1st, 2024, totaling $632,581.67. Intergovernmental agreement among the member agencies of the Northeastern Illinois Regional Crime Laboratory. Intergovernmental agreements between the Village of Lake Zurich and the Village of Island Lake for dispatch services and detainee housing. Ordinance authorizing the disposal of surplus property owned by the Village of Lake Zurich. An agreement with Pavement Systems, Inc. for 2024 seal coating program in the amount not to exceed $48,784.41. An agreement with Metropolitan Pump Company for replacement control panel at Miansky Sanitary Sewer Lift Station in the amount not to exceed $71,751. And authorization to waive the competitive bid process and approve change order number 1 with Lane Christensen Company for well number 12 repairs in the total amount not to exceed $344,725.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board or any discussion desired on any item, or would anyone like to have any item pulled for a separate vote? Nope. Huh? Yeah. I do have one question for Mike, and it was brought up during public comment regarding the waiving of competitive bids. I'll bite my tongue a little bit on this, but Mike, would you explain that particular process as we are going through that now?
So the two items that we're talking about, which is the repairs at well 12 and the replacement control panel at Miansky Lift, is about consistency with the operating controls and the equipment that we use at all of our wells and lift stations. With well 12, it's about working within our contract with our vendor and honoring the manufacturer's guarantee and using that contract. Again, with Miansky Lift, it's about staying consistent with the operating controls that we have at the other 14 lift stations.
Okay. We get that, but not everybody does. So
Yeah, it's understandable.
I'm sorry. Would you get on the mic on that?
The other contract on the consent agenda, 6G, was competitively bid.
That's the seal coating, was competitively bid. That's correct.
And we're awarding it to the lowest responsible bidder.
That is correct. And that's consistent with any time we bid. We just bid the 2024 infrastructure program. That was bid out. We have another one coming up, Buffalo Creek Stream Bank, all of our major infrastructure. But what's different about these two is again, staying consistent with the operating controls and the equipment that we use.
Okay, okay, answers my question. Okay, anybody have any questions? Nobody? Nobody does? Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, and I need a second, please.
I'll second. Mary Beth Euchre.
Okay, Kyle, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Bobrowski.
Aye.
Trustee Chagru.
Aye.
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Trustee Euchre.
Aye.
Okay, the consent agenda passes. Thank you. Moving on to new business, item 7A, Trustee Weider.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Authorization to waive the competitive bid process and proceed with agreements with Aqua Pro Plumbing, Paint Platoon USA Company, and All Patricians to complete emergency repairs at the Paulus Park Chalet in an amount not to exceed $55,291. The Paulus Park Chalet has been closed since mid-February for program use due to extensive repairs to the sanitary service. The repairs require partial demolition and replacement of interior plumbing, flooring, walls, and the replacement of the sanitary lift station servicing the facility. The facility will continue to be unavailable until the completion of this work, creating a potential interruption of scheduled summer programs, activities, and camp. Proposals were solicited from vendors capable of performing the necessary repairs and replacements. On-site visits were conducted with the vendors, and village staff received proposals for both plumbing and restoration. Due to the high use of this facility, especially heading into the summer camp activities, staff is recommending the competitive bid process be waived in an effort to expedite the repairs and return it to service as quickly as possible.
Okay. Any board comments? No? Bonnie? Bonnie or Mike? And while you're at it, one of the two of you, would you waive would you discuss the waiving of the competitive bid process in this particular case?
Sure. This is completely different than the other two that were mentioned in the consent agenda. What this is about is addressing the emergency repair that we have at the chalet and about getting Bonnie and her staff back in for camps and the programs that she has. Recognizing the excellent programs that Bonnie and her team has here, and we don't want to miss a beat there. So we engaged three vendors, plumbing vendors, and we took the lowest of the three to expedite the process. If all goes well, we'll have them be in by Wednesday of this week, and then we'll be piecemealing the rest of it as we go.
So, in lieu of the bid process, we did obtain estimates and proposals, and we're in an emergency situation because of the camp programs and other uses of that building, correct?
That's right. We engaged three and got two proposals back.
Right.
And if we were going to go through the formal bidding process, I'm afraid that would jeopardize Bonnie and her team's park programs.
And so you and Bonnie, being the department heads responsible for this, are comfortable with the choice that you've made?
Absolutely, I am, for sure. And it's to support her programs, yes, and to make
And-
sure that our village assets are put back together.
And we, as representatives of the community, trust that process that you engaged in to make that decision. I'm just telling you that right
Yeah,
now,
and-
so that's
and we
my comment.
We appreciate that. We don't like to go down this road, but sometimes the circumstances drive us down there.
Right, okay.
Mayor, if I may also add, that this also had an evaluative and qualitative approach as well, that the plumbers did not have wasn't matching up exact projects. It was also talking to them about their approaches to fixing the problems and the availability of materials and timeline and so forth. So it wasn't like a quantity and unit type number bid situation as well, that there was a bit, and as to Mike's credit and his staff's credit, also piecing together vendors who can get the job done as quickly as possible.
Right.
Putting a team together that could get it done in time so that we don't disrupt the camp's schedule.
That's right.
Yeah, currently, right now, just so the board is aware, we have 4 days of programs that have been displaced. So we've made it quite cozy at the Paulus Park Barn. We're all sharing space, but that does require myself and my team to handle setup and breakdown daily, twice a day, carrying objects, cleaning floors. So we're getting by. However, it is we will not be able to get by end of May. We have to have a place to put 60 kids that we've committed to take in for the summer. So it is quite a time-sensitive matter right now.
Right.
And they can do this, right?
They can do this, yeah. We're gonna be cutting it right down to the wire, but we'll get them back in.
Okay. Okay. Trustee Weider.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to waive the competitive bid process and approve the agreements with AquaPro Plumbing, Paint Platoon USA Company, and All Partitions for emergency repairs at the Paulus Park Chalet in the amount not to exceed $55,291.
And a second, please.
Second, Sugar.
Roger Chagru seconds it, and would you please call the roll, Kyle?
Trustee Euchre.
Aye.
Trustee Bobrowski.
Aye.
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Trustee Chagru.
Aye.
Okay, that passes. Let's get her going.
Thank you.
Next item, 7B, is mine. It is an agreement with Vicarious Multimedia, St. Stephen Public Relations for referendum communications in the amount not to exceed $30,000. The summary, I'll read the summary. On March 18th, 2024, the village board approved the wording for a referendum question to appear before the Lake Zurich voters on the November 2024 general election ballot. If approved by Lake Zurich voters, this referendum would increase the local non-home rule sales tax by 0.5% or a half penny on the dollar. This new revenue would mitigate the 5-year water rate increases that are necessary to fund the transition to Lake Michigan water. Residents will get the choice to decide if the approximately 40% of non-residents that contribute to Lake Zurich's sales tax should assist in paying for the Lake Michigan water transition, or if this cost should be funded by increased water rates over the next 5 years. After reviewing proposals for referendum educational communications, village staff is recommending Vicarious Multimedia to handle internal efforts in a multi-channel, multimedia, public information, and community engagement campaign starting on April 16th and running through November 5th, 2024. Anything to add? Oh, Michael. Okay.
Good evening.
Michael Dubner.
I think we're excited about bringing a program such as this forward. We did go through an RFP process. We identified elements that we really wanted some assistance with. This is a very important message to get out to the community, to have them fully understand that. And in conversations that I had with Manager Keller, we realized that we're so close to it. And government, we really talk in acronym, a lot of abbreviations. And sometimes we end up completing each other's sentences, even though there are words that are missing in the sentences. So we felt that having an outside individual that has experience in providing these types of services, make sure that our message is clear and concise and that everybody makes an informed decision is absolutely important. And I am excited to have Melanie from Vicarious Multimedia here tonight. If you have any questions of myself or of Melanie, we'd be happy to entertain them.
Can we get Melanie to tell us a little bit about Vicarious Productions? Yep.
And maybe the expected process you plan to implement.
First, about Vicarious Multimedia. I started the firm in 2004, and we have worked with local governments almost entirely since 2015. We've handled referendums. We have done a number of public information projects, business surveys throughout towns. sesquicentennial celebrations in Palatine, events, anything related to communications. We work either on retainer, where we are the communications department, all the way to projects such as this that are short to long term. We handle video, writing, editing, copywriting, graphic design, crisis communications management. Hopefully you don't ever need that, but we do a lot of that. And as far as the process for this project, as Mayor Poynton stated, we take a multi-channel, multimedia approach. One of the biggest things we do is making sure that we go to where the residents are, and they are in many places. So in regards to where they get their information. So we make sure that when we come in, we do an assessment of all your communications to make sure we're not missing a channel. We've talked about video for this. That's part of the proposal, which is highly important and very highly engaged with, more than just words. So we want to make sure video is incorporated. We'll help with your FAQ pages, press releases, graphic design, mailers, flyers, posters, any materials when you have public engagement meetings to engage with your public and educate them, materials to take away. So we really do take a full 360 approach to make sure that we are reaching your people, and we have to be careful. We're not saying vote for it. We're trying to help to instill the understanding why people should support it, because it's important for the betterment of Lake Zurich. So.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Melanie or Michael or Ray or the process? No? Okay, then I would like to make a motion to approve an agreement with Vicarious Multimedia, St. Stephen Public Relations for referendum communications in the amount not to exceed $30,000. And a second, please.
Second, Whiter.
And Kyle, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Euchre.
Aye.
Trustee Chagru.
Aye.
Trustee Bobrowski.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye. Okay, thank you. That passes. Are there any trustee reports tonight? We're done with our regular business. Trustee reports, anybody?
Just want to remind folks that Arbor Day is coming up pretty quick. The flyer is out in our benchmarks, I believe I saw it. So it's in the Park and Rec program, correct? So I encourage folks to come on out, and I believe we're going to plant a tree again and do park cleanup. And I think there's a shredding opportunity to get all those confidential documents shredded up and destroyed and out of your home. So did I miss anything, Bonnie?
No, I would just like to thank Kyle Cordell for helping hook us up with to partner with Swalco this year. So as Trustee Whiter was stating, we will be having the shred truck come out at 9 o'clock. We have some composting that's going to be available for free on site, as well as the tree planting that we do every year. We have a really cool scavenger hunt. We're also working with the local Girl Scouts. They're putting on a chalk art contest throughout the park pathways. So it'll be a wonderful day. We just hope the weather cooperates.
Yep. Tons of fun on Arbor Day.
Anybody else? I'm sorry, Mary Beth.
That weather remark reminded me. I was unable to attend the Easter egg hunt, but I heard it was great. I got a full report from my granddaughter who said Elsa made it snow, but there were still eggs. So you guys did a great job. I saw a lot of pictures online and from her mom, and thanks very much for sticking with it.
Okay, Michael, do you have anything?
Just on the staff report side, if you have driven past Paulus Park, you may notice that the shiny new sign is now lit up and is announcing our programs. And over the next week or two, we're going to remove the the old sign that's been out there for many, many years.
You mean the tall? Yeah.
The tall yellow sign?
Yeah.
That takes about an hour or so to change the letters on.
Yeah.
And it's a single message at the time. So we're pretty excited about having that in place.
Okay.
So,
Good
thank
deal.
you.
Anybody else? No? No more staff reports? Okay, then that concludes our business for tonight. Our next meeting is Monday, April 15th. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy. May I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Also move.
MB, and a second, please.
Second, Chagru.
And Kyle, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Bobrowski.
Aye.
Euchre.
Aye.
And Chagru.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.